Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
Have you ever wondered why you're still stuck, even though you're working hard every day? What if the missing piece isn't a new strategy or perfect timing, but something far more personal? The truth might be hiding in the one voice you hear the most, but rarely question. Your own. You're chasing success. You're showing up, putting in the effort, but still, deep down, something feels off. And it's not because you're doing things wrong. It's because you haven't looked inward deeply enough to truly break through. The real obstacle isn't a lack of knowledge or drive. It's the absence of self-understanding. Most people stay stuck not because they're lazy or incapable, but because they've never paused to ask themselves the right questions. So here's the challenge. For just 3 days, talk to yourself out loud. Yes, really. Ask yourself what it is you truly want. Ask why you keep pulling yourself back just as things start to move forward. Ask what it is you're afraid of. Because until you become self-aware, truly aware, nothing will shift. You'll keep chasing the same goals with the same confusion, the same frustration, and the same exhaustion. But in the next few moments, you'll discover something powerful, something that will completely reshape how you speak to yourself. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with clarity, confidence, and vision. It's the power of positive inner dialogue. From the moment you wake up each day, you are never truly alone. There's a voice with you, a constant companion. This voice, your inner voice, holds more power than you may realize. It's not just a background murmur. It's the architect of your future. And for the next 3 days, I challenge you to take control of it. Speak to yourself with kindness, with courage, with unwavering belief. If you can do that, if you choose to plant those seeds deliberately, you'll start to unlock one of the greatest secrets of success. You see, your mind is both a garden and a battlefield. Whatever thoughts you plant will eventually grow. And those thoughts bloom into habits. Habits that quietly shape every part of your life. If your inner voice is filled with fear, doubt, or a sense of inadequacy, then your life will reflect exactly that. But if that same voice begins to speak with hope, strength, and clarity of purpose, your world will respond. It will begin to rise to match the energy you speak into it. So picture this. What if your inner voice became your greatest mentor? A guide who sees you not just as who you are, but as who you could become? This inner mentor, the voice within, does not belittle your struggles, nor does it mock your mistakes. It doesn't speak with judgment or shame. Instead, it lifts you. It reminds you of your resilience, of the storms you've already faced and survived. You've been through worse, it says. You can face this too. It gently calls you back to your original strength, your power, your vision, your purpose. And then it urges you to act in alignment with that truth. Go on. Live like you believe it. In my personal exploration of the most extraordinary men and women throughout history, I've noticed one profound commonality. It's not talent, resources, or even timing. It's the way they mastered their inner voice. They didn't allow the noise of the outside world to drown out the power of their internal dialogue. Before any meaningful achievement, there is always belief. Before anyone ever climbs a summit, they first whisper, or sometimes shout, "I can." That belief isn't arrogance. It's not ego. It's a calm, grounded trust in one's own potential. A trust that is earned, not assumed. Every morning, I encourage you to stand before your reflection and speak deliberately. I am capable. I am worthy. I am unstoppable. Don't mutter it under your breath. Say it with strength, with clarity, with conviction. Let those words echo, not just in the room, but in your mind. Let them become a new truth that you live by. Because doubt will come. It always does. Like an uninvited guest, it will try to settle in. But when it does, don't entertain it. Confront it. Stand firm and say, "I hear you, but I will not follow you. I am led by strength, not by fear." There's a subtle but powerful law at work in this world. The law of belief. Whatever you repeatedly tell yourself, you eventually begin to believe. And what you believe you begin to embody. That's why the words you speak to yourself aren't just thoughts. They are blueprints, designs for the life you are quietly building every single day. So, for these next 3 days, treat your inner voice as sacred. Guard it, nourish it, make it your fiercest protector, your most loyal companion. When you fall short, let it remind you that you're learning, not failing. And when you win, let it whisper, this is just the beginning. Speak life into your dreams. Speak courage into your heart. Speak vision into every day that unfolds. Because in the end, the world won't respond to who you were or even who you are. It will respond to who you believe yourself to be. And when that belief is rooted in truth, real, honest, unshakable truth, and strengthened by repetition over time, something remarkable happens. There will be no door that remains permanently closed to you. Obstacles become stepping stones. Barriers turn into breakthroughs. Because it all begins with one invisible force, your inner voice. That voice is the first seed of every achievement, every personal evolution, every life-altering transformation. So choose that voice with intention. Shape it with care. Speak to yourself not by default, but by design daily. Because the quality of your life will start to reflect the greatness that has quietly lived within you all along. Now, shift your focus inward. Clarify your vision. Your dreams are not random. They're not meaningless distractions or empty fantasies. They're not the fleeting wishes of a restless mind. No, your dreams are sacred. They're the compass of your soul, silently pointing you toward your unique purpose in this world. Inside those dreams lives a hidden blueprint, a map of what you are here to create, who you are meant to become, and the impact you're destined to leave behind. So, for the next 3 days, make space for stillness. Step away from the noise, the urgency, the constant motion of daily life. Turn your attention inward. This is no small task. It is sacred. Give yourself the time and the honesty required to define, with precision, the vision you hold for your life. And begin simply by asking yourself 3 essential, soul-searching questions. Where do I want to go? What do I truly want to accomplish? And what lasting impact do I want to leave behind? Let these questions guide you, not just once, but again and again. Write down your answers. Refine them. Return to them often. Your vision must not live only in your mind. It must be written, clear, and anchored in your heart. Because clarity is power. Vague intentions create vague outcomes. But when your goals are clear, vivid, and backed by conviction, the world begins to respond. Almost as if the universe leans in and says, all right, let's build this together. So grab a notebook, open a blank page, or even use the back of a napkin if that's all you have. What matters most is not the paper, but the passion behind your words. Let your thoughts pour out, not from fear, but from bold possibility. Let them be shaped not by your limitations, but by your courage. Picture your future, not as it is today, but as it could be. Describe it in detail. See in your mind's eye. Feel the emotions that come with it. Because when a goal is written with belief and emotion, it ceases to be just a wish. It becomes a promise. A silent contract between who you are now and who you are willing to become. Great achievements don't just happen. They aren't the result of luck or timing or some mysterious twist of fate. They're born from conscious choice, intentional, deliberate, and unwavering. Think about it. Henry Ford didn't build an empire by simply hoping things would fall into place. No, he carried a vivid image in his mind long before it ever became real. He imagined a world where the moving assembly line revolutionized manufacturing. He saw ordinary workers building extraordinary machines. And through focused vision and relentless purpose, he turned that mental picture into physical reality. This isn't a secret reserved for a select few. It's not some rare gift that only the elite possess. It's a universal principle. What you consistently think about, you begin to attract. The mind, when directed toward a definite aim, becomes a powerful magnet, drawing in people, resources, circumstances, and opportunities that align with that goal. But here's the key. the mind must first be given direction. It needs clarity like a compass needs north. So, each morning, before the noise of the world rushes in, give yourself just a few quiet minutes. Visualize your goals not as distant hopes, but as already achieved realities. Picture yourself there. Hear the voices of those celebrating your success. Feel the pride, the joy, the deep sense of fulfillment that comes from winning your own race. Let these moments imprint deeply onto your subconscious, because it's your subconscious mind, not your fleeting thoughts, that ultimately drives consistent action, especially when your conscious mind feels tired, unsure, or overwhelmed. And yes, doubt will come. It always does. On those days, don't run from it. Return to your written goals. Speak them aloud. Remind yourself not only of what you're striving for, but of why it matters. Purpose is what fuels persistence. It's the fire that turns vision into motion. Without it, even the smallest hurdle feels like a wall. With it, even the tallest mountain begins to shrink. These next 3 days, treat them with intention. They are more than just a motivational phase. They are the first pages of a powerful new chapter in your life. The clearer your vision becomes, the more naturally you'll be pulled toward it, like gravity guiding you forward. You're not here to simply survive. You're here to design. You're not drifting, you're building. And the world, whether it knows it yet or not, bends toward those who are clear, determined, and ready. Clarity gives birth to confidence. Confidence fuels action, and action, repeated with purpose, becomes momentum. This is the real beginning of greatness. With your mind locked onto a meaningful goal and your spirit unwilling to bend, there's only one step left to take. Begin. Not tomorrow, not next week. Begin today, right now. Define your dream with boldness. Describe your vision with precision. Anchor your purpose deep within your soul. And then watch, truly watch, as your life begins to shift subtly but surely in the direction of your deepest desires. But as you move forward, don't just prepare for success. Prepare for the rhythm of life itself. Life flows in cycles. It moves like a dance, one step forward, one step back. Victories follow by setbacks. Momentum met with moments of stillness. There will be waves that lift you high and undercurrents that test your balance. And in that natural rhythm, progress and pause, triumph and trial, you must develop something stronger than luck, more durable than talent. You must build resilience. Resilience is not just the ability to endure hard times. It's not mere survival. True resilience is a refined skill, a trained inner strength that allows you to rise every time you fall, to find meaning in discomfort, and to keep moving forward with purpose that remains untouched, unbroken, and undiminished. So for the next 3 days, commit to a mindset transformation. Make it your mission. Start looking at every challenge not as a barrier, but as a bridge. Not as a punishment, but as preparation. When the world says no, don't retreat. Let it energize your will. Let rejection sharpen your resolve. When plans fall apart, perhaps they weren't meant to stay intact. Maybe life is nudging you to pivot, to evolve, to uncover a better way. Every setback, no matter how painful, carries a hidden offering, a lesson carved by struggle that cannot be learned through comfort. But you must be willing to look for it. You must approach adversity with both curiosity and courage, asking, what is this here to teach me? What strength is it calling out of me? Consider the story of Thomas Edison. History celebrates him as the mind behind the light bulb. But what's often forgotten is the path that led him there, a path strewn with over 1,000 failed experiments. He didn't stumble upon success. He built it brick by brick, failure by failure, never losing sight of the end goal. Thousands of failed experiments. That's what it took. Each one a chance to give up, a reason to feel defeated, an open door to surrender. But Thomas Edison didn't see failure the way most people do. When questioned about his long string of unsuccessful attempts, he famously said, I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That is resilience in its purest, most powerful form. A deep, unwavering belief in the vision, regardless of how many obstacles rise up along the path. Your journey will not be free of hardship. No meaningful life ever is. But what you can control is how you meet those moments. You can train your mind and heart to face difficulty with strength. You can choose to welcome challenges, not with dread or resistance, but with a spirit of growth and determination. The next time adversity strikes, pause for a moment. Don't panic. Don't shrink. Instead, ask yourself, what is this here to teach me? How might this help me grow? Not in spite of the pain, but because of it. For the next 3 days, practice this new mindset with intention. Every time something goes wrong, when your plans fall apart, when frustration creeps in, take a breath. Pause, then reframe. Say to yourself, this is part of my training. This is how I become unshakable. Speak to your inner self, not with defeat, but with firm resolve. Let each hardship be your training ground. Let each challenge be the weight that builds your emotional muscle, your mental stamina, and your spiritual backbone. Because here's the truth. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's not a genetic gift. It's a skill, a quality that's built through deliberate action, shaped over time through practice and choice. Every time you rise when you could stay down, you strengthen it. Every time you hold steady through disappointment, you reinforce it. Resilience is your armor against discouragement, and it must be nurtured with care. Visualize yourself as a mighty oak tree. The storms will come. They always do. Winds will whip through your branches, trying to bend you, but they will not break you. Why? Because your roots run deep. They reach down into your purpose, into your vision, into your belief. And when you are grounded in mission, truly anchored in why you're here, you become immovable, no matter how fierce the storm. And remember this, adversity never diminishes your value. If anything, it reveals it. Just like pressure reveals the strength of steel, hardship exposes the resilience within you. Sometimes, you need the storm to see just how deeply your roots have grown. Diamonds are not formed in comfort. They are created under intense pressure in the depths of the earth, where conditions are anything but easy. Steel doesn't become strong in softness. It's forged through fire, beaten and shaped by heat. And greatness is no different. True greatness is born in the furnace of trials. That's why your ability to remain resilient is what separates those who are merely interested from those who are fully committed. Don't aim for a life free from struggle. That's not where growth lives. Instead, seek the strength to rise above it. Let each obstacle serve you, not by limiting who you are, but by refining who you're becoming. Every challenge has the potential to sculpt your character. And it's not the presence of trials that defines you. It's the way you face them. The road to success is never a straight, smooth highway. It's winding, unpredictable, and filled with moments that test your resolve. But when resilience becomes your steady companion, every detour transforms into a meaningful part of the path. What once seemed like delays become necessary redirections. What once felt like failure becomes the very foundation upon which your strength is built. So begin today, right here, right now. Choose resilience, not just as a word, but as a way of living. Let it fill your breath, shape your actions, and guide your choices. Embody it fully, live with that quiet force, and then watch how the world begins to respond, how it adjusts to match the power of your unshakable will. Now, turn inward and cultivate something just as vital, unwavering belief in yourself. This belief is not a luxury or a nice to have. It is essential. It is the very ground beneath every ambition, the solid base upon which all dreams are built. Without belief, no vision can take form. No summit can be reached, because belief is what ignites ambition. It's the seed from which every legacy grows. Over the next 3 days, make it your personal mission to nourish that belief, not as a fleeting feeling that comes and goes, but as a constant, immovable conviction. Visualize yourself like a tree, planted deep in rich, fertile ground. Yes, storms may come, winds may rage, but your roots, your confidence, hold you steady. They keep you grounded and upright, no matter how fierce the weather. This is the type of belief you must build. Not loud, not boastful, but strong, quiet, unshaken, enduring. Every person who has ever achieved something of true, lasting significance has done so not in the absence of doubt, but in its presence. The real difference between the average and the extraordinary is simple. The extraordinary choose to move forward, even when uncertainty whispers in their ear. Remember the Wright brothers. They faced public ridicule. They failed over and over, but still they believed. They believed in the possibility of flight, even when all the world saw was gravity. Eleanor Roosevelt stood tall with quiet, unwavering strength. Even as she faced constant criticism and relentless scrutiny, she didn't wait for the world approval. She didn't ask for permission to believe in herself. She claimed it, boldly, firmly, and so must you. Each morning, begin with a declaration. Not a whisper, but a statement of truth. I am more powerful and more capable than I realize. My potential has no limits. Say it out loud. Don't say it shyly or with doubt. Say it like you mean it, because it's true. You hold within you untapped talents waiting to be uncovered, strengths you've yet to test, and possibilities that stretch far beyond the horizon you currently see. But here's the challenge. The mind, once soaked in doubt, has a habit of shrinking itself. It defaults to limitation unless you retrain it. That's your mission now, to rewire your thinking, to dismantle the old framework of I can't, and replace it, word by word, with I will. Stand guard at the gate of your mind. Be alert. Be intentional. Don't let past failures creep in and speak louder than your future. Don't let outdated fears, disappointments, or the judgments of others dictate your direction. Protect your thoughts as you would guard something sacred, because they are. Your inner voice has power, and belief isn't just about thinking positively. It's about thinking in alignment with your highest potential, with who you are meant to become. To believe is to speak to yourself with the same strength, love, and certainty you would give to someone you care about deeply. It's reminding yourself daily that you are not placed on this earth to hide, to shrink, or to simply survive. You are meant to shine. During these next 3 days, build habits around that belief. Rituals that reinforce it. Write your affirmations down, not just once, but every day. Speak them into the silence. Speak them into doubt. Speak them until your voice starts to believe itself. Visualize your victories, not in vague, blurry outlines, but in vivid, specific detail. See yourself standing on that stage. Hear your voice echoing with clarity. See yourself leading that project, launching that dream, living that goal. Feel it, not just in your thoughts, but in your bones. Anchor that vision not just in your mind, but deep in your heart. And when the hard moments come, and they will, don't let them shake your worth. Let them remind you of your strength. Let every challenge be a confirmation, not a contradiction, of your power. You're not here to be defined by difficulty. You are here to be refined by it. Every obstacle is not a wall, but a mirror, reflecting back the strength you're capable of. Use it to reaffirm what you already know deep down. You can, you will, and you're becoming. Say to yourself, with unwavering certainty, even this, whatever it is, cannot stop me. Let that conviction shape how you move through the world. Carry yourself with purpose. Walk as if your steps are guided by a mission. When you speak, do so with the calm strength of someone who knows exactly where they're going. Look people in the eye, not to intimidate, but to connect, to affirm that you are fully present, fully grounded. This is how belief becomes visible. Not in loud declarations, but in quiet, steady action. Confidence is not just a feeling. It's a posture, a presence, a way of showing up. When you begin to embody belief through consistent movement, everything starts to shift. Because belief, when truly lived, becomes magnetic. When you believe in yourself deeply and consistently, others begin to feel it. They're drawn to your energy, your clarity, your presence. Opportunities seem to come more naturally. Support finds you. Doors you thought were sealed begin to open. New paths reveal themselves, and what once seemed impossible begins to feel inevitable. The world does not respond to hesitation. It does not reward doubt. It moves for those who move with certainty. And when your actions are driven by that kind of belief, firm, grounded, unshaken, you become a force. So begin today. Feed your belief like it's fuel. Protect it like it's sacred. Let it grow, expand, and anchor you. And always remember this. You are capable of far more than you've ever allowed yourself to imagine. Your future is not a vague question mark hanging in the air. It's a bold statement waiting to be declared. So declare it. Speak it. Own it. Let your belief carry you forward into the life you are meant to live. Now let's talk about passion, because belief alone is powerful, but passion is what gives it breath. Passion is the silent current running beneath the surface that carries ordinary people into extraordinary destinies. It is the inner fire that cannot be extinguished by hardship, fatigue, or doubt. When that fire is lit, truly lit, it fuels energy, sparks creativity, and builds the resilience to keep going. Over the next 3 days, turn inward. Create space to listen, not to the world, but to your own soul. Dedicate this time to discovering or reigniting the passions that make you feel most alive. Ask yourself honestly, what stirs my soul? What activity makes time vanish? What pursuit lights me up from the inside out? Don't dismiss these questions as indulgent. They are essential. These passions you uncover, they are not random. They are signposts, subtle but powerful, pointing you toward your true calling. They are clues left behind by your purpose, waiting for you to follow. Because the person who moves with passion doesn't just move with speed, they move with power. And not the kind of power that is forced or allowed, but the kind that is magnetic. The kind that draws people, resources, and opportunities toward them effortlessly. Passion is the great differentiator. It's what separates the ones who simply show up from those who show up lit from within. It's what drives someone to stay late, not because they have to, but because they want to. Passion doesn't just make you work harder. It makes you work with joy, with creativity, and with purpose. It transforms effort into art. Think about Michelangelo. He didn't spend years on his back painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel out of obligation. He wasn't driven by duty alone. He was fueled by a force far deeper, a consuming love for his craft, a vision so vivid and alive that rest felt secondary to creation. That's what passion does. It compels you, it uplifts you, and most of all, it sustains you. Never underestimate what happens when you give yourself fully to something you love. The world around you begins to shift. Your presence changes. Your words carry more weight. Your actions feel aligned and filled with purpose. And others will notice. Doors open. Support appears. Not because of luck, but because of alignment. This is not magic. It's the natural law of enthusiasm in action. Because passion fuels excellence. And excellence? It attracts success. It commands attention. So if you don't yet know what your passion is, don't lose hope. Discovery is a process, and you're not behind. You're just beginning. Explore. Be curious. Try new things without fear. Look back at the moments that once made you feel alive. Was it building, performing, creating, solving, helping? Often, your passion leaves footprints in your joy, in your deep focus, in the activities where time seems to disappear. Follow those trails. They're leading you back home, to the core of who you are. And for the next 3 days, make this your mission. Schedule intentional time to engage in whatever lifts your spirit. It doesn't have to be grand or perfect. It just has to be real. Whether it's writing, designing, mentoring, building, teaching, solving problems, exploring the outdoors, whatever sparks that inner light, do it. And do it not for outcome or recognition, but for the pure joy of doing. Let joy be the reward. Let passion be the guide. Passion, when expressed, expands. It grows the moment you give it room to breathe. It cannot remain small or silent when you give it space to move, to live, to be heard. Speak about the things that light you up. Share them with others. because enthusiasm is infectious. When you speak from a place of genuine excitement and love, you become a beacon, an energy others want to be around. People feel it. They respond to it. Your passion draws in collaborators, mentors, opportunities, and unexpected allies. What once felt hard begins to flow with surprising ease. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. Your energy shifts everything. Let your passion be your compass. When you face choices, big or small, ask yourself, which path makes me feel more alive? Because success without joy is like a song without sound. Empty, hollow, unfulfilling. But when success is built on passion, it becomes something sustainable, something meaningful, something that fuels you rather than drains you. And don't mistake passion for a fleeting spark. It's not always loud or wild. Often, it's a steady flame, a quiet force that warms, sustains, and endures. Treat it like a sacred fire. Protect it from the winds of doubt. Guard it from the numbing effect of routine. Feed it daily with care, intention, and action. You are not born to live mechanically, not to move through life checking boxes or meeting expectations set by others. You are born to create, to contribute, to feel deeply, to pursue what sets your soul on fire. That isn't selfishness, it's responsibility. Because the world doesn't need more people just getting by. It needs more people who are fully alive, filled with purpose. So begin today. Explore what excites you. Lean into what inspires you. Commit to it. Express it. And trust that when you do, you place yourself on the path to an extraordinary life. A life passion always promises to those who follow it. And finally, take action. Bold, decisive, immediate action. Because no matter how inspired or beautiful a dream may be, it remains a wish until it's acted upon. Vision without execution is like a ship without a sail, adrift, aimless, and at the mercy of the tide. But when you act, you steer. You move forward. You make the invisible real. Over the next 3 days, challenge yourself. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It won't come. Don't put it off until tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes never. Take a step today, a real one. Make the call, write the plan, start the project. Action is the bridge that carries you from the imagined life to the lived one. You are ready. You always have been. Action is what transforms raw potential into real progress. And within this truth lies something deeply powerful. Even imperfect action holds far more value than perfect inaction. The longer you wait for the perfect timing, the flawless plan, or absolute certainty, the more you delay your own destiny. Perfection may seem noble, but it often becomes a trap. You don't need the stars to align. You don't need every detail figured out. You need to start. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Because history doesn't remember those who waited. It remembers those who acted. Think of Walt Disney. He didn't begin with studios, millions in funding, or a massive team of animators. He started with simple drawings and a bold, stubborn belief in a little mouse. His first attempts weren't grand. They were humble, modest, but he moved forward anyway. He created. He dared. He took action while others kept dreaming. And that one small step, it became the foundation of an empire of imagination. Let that be your model. Begin small, but begin. One honest step forward creates motion, and motion births momentum. And momentum, that subtle but unstoppable force, is what turns distant possibilities into tangible realities. Each step you take builds upon the one before it. Action compounds, like drops of water forming a mighty river. Every effort adds to your forward flow. You don't need to leap, just move. Consistently, intentionally. So for the next 3 days, give yourself a daily intention. A clear, actionable step that moves you closer to your goal. Make the call you've been putting off. Write the page you've been thinking about. Research the idea. Sketch the outline. Send the email. Take the first step in building what you imagine. Because every action, no matter how small, signals to your subconscious mind that you're serious. It tells the world around you that you're not standing still. You're in motion. And motion attracts momentum. Don't wait to feel ready. readiness is often an illusion. Confidence doesn't always come before the leap. It comes after. It is built through doing, through showing up, through the steady rhythm of progress. So act now, even if it's not perfect, especially if it's not perfect, because that's how transformation begins. You will grow more confident with every step you take. Assurance doesn't come from standing still. It comes from motion. The path ahead is not something you uncover by waiting. It reveals itself in the walking, in the doing. And here's something vital to remember. Mistakes are not your enemy. They're your greatest teachers in disguise. Every misstep holds a message. Every failure sharpens your focus. Each setback, when viewed through the right lens, is not a stop sign. It's a stepping stone. Let go of the fear of getting it wrong and embrace the power of learning as you go. Because growth lives on the other side of action. So commit. Not to perfection, but to doing. Be a doer, not just a thinker. The world is full of ideas. Everyone has dreams, but very few people execute. And the ones who rise, they're not always the most gifted, not always the best connected, but they move boldly, consistently, relentlessly. That's what sets them apart. Each evening, take a quiet moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I do today to move closer to my goal? Make this reflection a ritual, a habit of honesty and accountability. Because when you track your actions, you become more aware. And awareness breeds consistency. Consistency builds progress. And progress, repeated day after day, creates transformation. Action brings clarity. Every step you take teaches you something new. Every effort refines your direction. You don't have to have it all figured out from the start. You may adjust. You may shift. You may even stumble. But you'll be moving forward. And that forward motion is everything. It is motion, not talent, not resources, that separates the wishful from the purposeful. Understand this truth. Behind every success story is a single decision. A decision to begin. Behind every breakthrough, behind every innovation, behind every legacy was someone who didn't wait for certainty or permission. They just started, and now it's your turn. Over these next 3 days, let action be your mantra. Don't overthink. Don't overplan. Move, one intentional step at a time. Let momentum become your partner. And as that momentum grows, so too will your clarity, your confidence, and your results. Begin today. Take that first step, even if it's small. Let that step lead to the next. And soon, you'll look back and realize the life you once imagined, the dream you once doubted, has become the life you're now living. Cultivate the habit of lifelong learning. It is your most powerful ally on the journey to greatness. Learning is the invisible force that strengthens your mind, sharpens your judgment, and broadens your vision. It is the foundation upon which everything meaningful is built. For the next 3 days, I urge you to make a conscious, deliberate commitment to immerse yourself in the pursuit of knowledge. Read deeply, listen intently, observe closely, but most importantly, learn not just from books, but from people, from experiences, and from life itself. True success is never the result of stagnation. It thrives in environments where growth is consistently nurtured, and growth can only come when learning is embraced. Those who rise above mediocrity aren't the ones who claim to have all the answers, but rather the ones who humbly acknowledge that their learning never ends. They understand that education doesn't stop when you leave the classroom. It starts with the burning desire to improve, to evolve, and to challenge your own limits. Take, for instance, Abraham Lincoln. Born into humble circumstances, with limited formal education and few resources, he could have easily accepted his fate. But instead, he harbored an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. By the dim glow of firelight, he taught himself from borrowed books and legal texts, determined to better himself despite the odds. He didn't wait for permission or the ideal circumstances. He learned because he believed that personal growth was his responsibility. And that belief, that commitment to constant learning, shaped his destiny, transforming a boy from the backwoods into one of the greatest leaders in history. This same principle applies to you. No matter where you start, no matter your current circumstances, You have the power to expand your mind and enrich your life. The more you learn, the more valuable you become, not only to your family and your community, but to your work, to society, and most importantly, to yourself. Your knowledge increases your ability to make wise decisions, to solve complex problems, and to inspire those around you. Over these next 3 days, treat learning like a sacred act. Choose one subject that excites you and dive deep into it with focus and passion. Whether it's a new skill, a new language, or a subject that sparks your curiosity, let it consume your thoughts, fuel your actions, and ignite a fire that drives you forward. The journey to greatness begins with the belief that you are always capable of more, and that belief begins with learning. Make it a habit to read a chapter each day from a book that holds meaning for you. Listen to a podcast or lecture from someone whose wisdom you admire. Reflect on the lessons life has already taught you. Both victories and failures are rich sources of insight, if only you take the time to learn from them. The mind, much like a muscle, grows stronger through use. If neglected, it grows weak and stagnant. But when nourished with fresh ideas, new skills, and different perspectives, it expands, elevating every aspect of your life. This is the reason why the most successful people never rest on their laurels. Regardless of their titles or accomplishments, they remain lifelong students. They understand that mastery is not a final destination, but an ongoing journey, a pursuit that never ends. But be mindful, activity does not equal learning. True learning goes beyond passive consumption. It is active engagement. It requires questioning, reflecting, and applying. It's not just about absorbing information. It's about taking what you know and turning it into what you do. Knowledge only holds value when it is put into action. Every time you open a book, every time you ask a question, every time you seek to understand something new, you're adding another brick to the foundation of your future. Learning is not a means to an end. It is not just something you do to get ahead. It is what makes you more fully alive. It fuels creativity, nurtures confidence, and prepares you to face challenges with clarity and resilience. And here's something to always keep in mind. The world is constantly changing. It's evolving, shifting, growing. To remain relevant, you must evolve along with it. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. But when you embrace learning as a lifelong companion, you step into a life of continuous progress, a life where growth is guaranteed and your potential is always expanding. So start today. Open your mind. Feed it daily with new knowledge. Cultivate the habit of seeking wisdom, not just for personal gain, but for the fulfillment that comes from constant growth and transformation. And understand this. As you grow in knowledge, you rise in value. You gain not just facts or data, but insight. Not just skill, but resilience. And with that resilience, you continue to move steadily along the path toward your highest self. Growth is not merely about acquiring more. It's about becoming more. Adaptation is essential. The ability to adjust to change is not just a useful trait. It is the very foundation of lasting success. Those who rise above their circumstances, who push through uncertainty and reach for greatness, are those who have learned not to resist change, but to welcome it. Change is not the enemy. It's the invitation to evolve. For the next 3 days, make a conscious decision to treat change as your ally, not your adversary. Shift your perspective. Understand that within every shift, every disruption, every new challenge, lies an opportunity just waiting to be embraced. You must come to realize that change is not a threat. It's a signal that it's time to grow, time to stretch beyond your limits, time to reach for new heights. The person who fears change has already placed invisible boundaries on their potential. But the one who approaches change with curiosity and courage, they become unstoppable. Change is not the end of stability. It is the very beginning of transformation. Imagine Aeschylus Saidor. When the wind shifts, he doesn't curse it. He adjusts his sails. He doesn't try to control the sea, but he controls how he responds to it. And that, my friend, is what makes all the difference. Your life too, will face shifting winds. It's inevitable. Challenges, setbacks, unexpected turns, they're all part of the journey. But if you are willing to adjust your mindset, realign your strategies, and shift your perspective, no storm, no change will ever keep you from your destination. In the end, the ability to adapt, to remain fluid in the face of uncertainty, is what will propel you toward your goals. So, when change knocks at your door, don't resist it. Open it wide. It's time to grow. It's time to move forward. Nature provides us with the clearest example of adaptation. Every tree, every animal, every ecosystem is in a constant state of change. The seasons shift, environments evolve, and yet life finds a way, not just to survive, but to thrive. This is the fundamental law of nature. Adaptation is the key to longevity. Those who resist change risk becoming obsolete. Those who embrace it, they become pioneers, trailblazers. And you are no different. When change comes, and it always will, you are faced with a choice. You can retreat into fear, stay stuck in what's familiar, or you can step forward into growth, into the unknown. The most successful individuals I've studied weren't just the smartest or the most organized. They were adaptable. They knew when to pivot, when to shift gears, when to reinvent themselves. They didn't mourn what was lost. Instead, they focused on what could be built anew. They were creators, not just survivors. Over the next 3 days, I challenge you to practice mental flexibility. When something unexpected happens, don't react immediately. Pause. Ask yourself, what opportunity is hidden within this change? What did I learn from this? How can this make me stronger, wiser, better? These questions are the beginning of a mindset that transforms obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into stepping stones. Be willing to question old patterns, outdated beliefs, and routines that no longer serve you. Sometimes, what brought you success in the past will not be enough to take you to the next level. Adaptability is not just about adjusting to survive. It's about positioning yourself to thrive in new, uncharted terrain. You must also remain open-minded. Rigidity of thought is the greatest enemy of growth. If you believe you already know everything, you close yourself off from the better answers, the greater possibilities, the new opportunities that are waiting. The adaptable mind listens. It observes. It learns. It understands that change often comes with discomfort, with uncertainty. But within that discomfort is the seed of reinvention. So, let go of the need for total control. Control is often an illusion. Adaptability is the true strength, the ability to bend without breaking, to evolve without losing your core. Control is an illusion. Progress doesn't come from trying to control every variable, every outcome, or every moment. Real progress comes from responding powerfully to whatever arises. Your true power lies not in resisting the winds that challenge you, but in mastering how you sail through them. So, start today. Look at one area of your life where change is either already happening or where it's clearly needed. Instead of resisting it, lean into it. Embrace it. Make one small adjustment, even if it's just a new approach. View the change not as a loss, but as an opportunity, a doorway to something greater. Let your willingness to adapt become your greatest competitive advantage. When adaptability becomes a habit, it turns into resilience. And when you embrace change as part of your journey, you unlock levels of creativity, strength, and success that most people never experience. Through this process of evolution, you evolve yourself. And in that evolution, you become unstoppable. Change is not your enemy. It is an invitation to grow, to learn, to rise higher. Welcome it, work with it, and watch how it leads you to places you once thought were beyond reach. But growth does not happen in isolation. Cultivating harmonious relationships is just as crucial. Throughout history, the most successful individuals have understood a profound truth. No great achievement is ever accomplished alone. Every triumph, every monumental success stands on a foundation built from the support, collaboration, and trust of others. For the next 3 days, I urge you to deliberately cultivate meaningful connections. not just for your own benefit, but for mutual growth, shared wisdom, and collective upliftment. You must learn to see the people around you, not as obstacles in your path, but as bridges leading you to greater possibilities. It's not about doing it all alone. Success is built together. The mind that isolates itself, believing it can achieve everything without others, limits its potential. It is like a lone ship adrift without direction, struggling to reach its destination. But the mind that views others as collaborators, allies, and co-creators expands its influence beyond measure. Take Andrew Carnegie, for example. He was one of the wealthiest men in the world, yet he always credited much of his success to the power of a mastermind group, a circle of trusted individuals whose combined wisdom, effort, and ideas propelled him to greatness. Or think of J.P. Morgan, a man who mastered the art of alliance, building an empire through strategic partnerships and strong relationships. These men understood a fundamental truth. Surrounding yourself with the right minds and hearts is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Harmonious relationships are not formed by chance. They are built day by day through intentional effort, the offering of value, trust, and sincere appreciation. Success is rarely a solo journey. It is a collective effort that thrives in an environment of collaboration and shared goals. Ask yourself, who in your life inspires you to grow? Who challenges you to be better, supports you in your efforts, and believes in your potential? And just as importantly, to whom do you offer the same? Reflect on the people who encourage and uplift you, and think about the impact you can have by offering that same energy to others. Over the next 3 days, make it your mission to strengthen the relationships that truly matter. Reach out to someone you respect. Take a moment to express your gratitude. Offer words of encouragement. Share a resource or insight that could uplift another person. Remember, when you give without expectation, you plant the seeds of lasting alliances. Don't underestimate the simple power of listening. When you listen with genuine interest and care, you build trust. When you encourage others in their pursuits, you spark a bond rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Relationships thrive not through dominance, but through cooperation, shared vision, and the belief that together, we can achieve more than we ever could alone. When you surround yourself with individuals who share your purpose and align with your character, you create a powerful support system that not only sustains you through difficulty, but accelerates your progress in moments of opportunity. This is not just a network. It's a multiplier of success. Every great vision gains momentum when others believe in it, contribute to it, and help bring it to life. But here's the truth. The quality of your relationships often determines the quality of your results. Relationships are the backbone of success. Choose your circle wisely. Nurture those connections with care, with integrity, and always lead with authenticity. Start today. Be the kind of person others want to build with. Offer more than you ask for. Celebrate others' victories as if they were your own. Recognize the contributions of those around you. And watch as the harmony you create turns into a powerful force that elevates not only your life, but the lives of everyone in your circle. As you build this network of like-minded individuals, understand that the foundation of all growth lies within your mindset. Your mindset is the master key that unlocks all doors. Spend the next 3 days intentionally maintaining a positive, solution-oriented perspective. Remember, a positive mindset is not simply about optimism. It's a powerful strategy for overcoming obstacles and uncovering the opportunities hidden within every challenge. Consider the lives of extraordinary people throughout history. Think of Helen Keller, who overcame unimaginable barriers by focusing on what was possible rather than what was impossible. She didn't see limitations. She saw the possibilities beyond them. Every morning, affirm that today holds incredible potential for growth and success. Keep your mind firmly focused on your goals, your vision clear, and your heart open to the abundance around you. Your attitude determines your altitude. The higher your attitude, the higher your potential. Elevate it intentionally. Now is your moment. The opportunity to take control of your destiny, is right in front of you. Commit to these steps today. Speak to yourself with purpose, passion, and power. Your journey begins now. And remember, stay healthy, stay happy, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Mindset Daily, for more content like this.